Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is Northstar. Hope you're well, are taking care of each other, and being kind to yourselves. If for those who haven't before, check out my YouTube channel page. You can find all the previous videos in this series and my other HOI4 series and many other games, Hearthstone, Interstellar Transport Company, Potioncraft, you name it, lots of stuff. Over 24 games, over 50 playlists. Lots to check out. I've been playing in Syria here. As Khalid Bakdash, I guess. I just puppeted Jordan. I'm in a war with the Soviets. And the US faction includes Sweden, Finland, and capitalist Norway. That happened because I joined Norway's faction. They're in a civil war with capitalist Norway. Norwegian People's Republic. The original Norway tag. And losing at the time, and I helped them push and turn the odds very much in their favor. Then Soviet Lithuania. Why is it just showing as Lithuania here? It's Soviet Lithuania. Proceeded, unless they somehow became fully independent. Soviet Lithuania proceeded to request Soviet invasions of Finland and Sweden and Denmark, putting them at war, the Soviets, with my faction, because Denmark was a puppet, the neutral puppet surrender pathway of Denmark. The Norwegian People's Republic. Norway here, they had went and took this territory, but it was originally Norwegian People's Republic there. Things have not been going great since the US entered the war. So then Finland had already taken a focus to join America's faction, and then that caused, now having common enemies, caused Sweden and Norway to join it, and Iceland. And yeah, so it's not good. Could have averted all this if I had based on the Tay issue. Actually, gone to war with the Central Powers, then these Sweden and Norway would have joined the Central Powers instead. Would have had to defend my border with Turkey, but I don't know. Turkey's fascist here. The Turkish Empire. This is unwinnable, so I'm going to do a tiny bit here to prepare for the possibly need to take over a different nation. Really? Why? No. Well, this guy is an inflexible strategist, huh? They've rolled a brilliant strategist, inflexible strategist. This is their starting guy, actually. Some chicken multiplayer game, and huh? That's not terrible luck at all. But they are communist, and they're desperately short of manpower. Probably past time they swap to ideological loyalty. I can drop some infantry myself. That's a nice, big, wide. The AI may well delete this, although if I decommission it, I think they're less likely. They have a spirit that they can edit stuff for free. Definitely need anti-tank. Really? Not much to be concerned with artillery division. Alright, well there we go. Very small artillery. Lots of anti-air. Considering, what is it? That's more enough to protect not only this division, but other divisions that's fight with. and more anti-air value leads to shooting down more aircraft. So there's that. What happens is all the values get added together on average. You do need more smaller divisions, unfortunately. Yeah, they have an artillery specialist, so in theory, that would be useful for them. Reality, I'll be lucky if they don't delete it, even decommissioned. The AI is incredibly dumb. They've become obsessed. The devs, I think, noticing the spam of templates, now become obsessed with AI cleaning everything. Wheat. Right. Nowhere to be. Oh. Nope. Can't do that. Don't they have, no artillery in any of that. This is a reasonable, very small division. Or holding ground, although they probably should have support artillery in it. Like, that would be a reasonable thing. Even for something regarding it. Didn't even add it. I just deleted infantry until it was considered artillery. Okay. Also, one let's call this. This is the most cost-effective way of creating new generals for them. They're smart enough to not delete it. Of course they won't, but this is stuff trying to set it up for if I end up taking over this. It's not much organization all for that tank division. Let's go more if they go deep operations down this path. They go this, or the manpower though. They do get some at large front offensives. 2 tank work, not much. Should we get this up to 27 organization? It's relatively small division at least. Right. Anyways. Bayonet strength. Ran all. Ideological loyalty. Wait, did I miss something? Did I accidentally spend army XP for them? Now let's just exit the menu. I haven't changed much. Yeah, so Syria, in the real world, the US just went in there and played regime change puppet master and put a former Al-Qaeda guy who until very recently had a $10 million bounty on his head by the United States government in charge of the country. Trump loves him because he's a strong man, but it just shows the other hypocrisy. Now, Assad was a brutal strong man. It was easy to the U.S. media never did an honest job talking about the situation, so it was always cynical. But let's go. Yeah, it is Soviet Lithuania. Assad's father, who the U.S. media loved to demonize, but it was because he was a socialist actually, and back then there was a socialist, Arab socialism, so not really true Marxism or anything, but there was a kind of moderate socialist style of government throughout the region, the Ba'ath parties, whatever, that strong welfare systems and nationalization of key industries, and nominally a Republican system of government, which is why Assad's father passing on to his son was considered a betrayal then, and Assad was a neoliberal, like the one who was rebelled against. He started acting like neoliberal, started tearing up all the socialist stuff and bringing all capitalist and privatizing everything, and then racist as well, and oppressing Kurds in particular, but other minorities in Syria too. So the U.S. media wanted to obliterate. Yeah, they only have 16 Army XP, so I actually can't change that right now. Wanted to obliterate a lot of that history and just pretend. In fact, often pretend that it was a rebellion against socialism, because that's always the propaganda. Socialism must be evil and anything that, yeah, no, actually people were rebelling. I knew that narrative was nonsense in the beginning because it came out fairly early on that there was a very large socialist presence amongst the Syrian Democratic Forces, which would make no sense if it was a revolt against socialism. It was for actually bringing back a lot of the socialist stuff that Assad was tearing up. And the Syrian Democratic Forces are actually the military wing of the DAANES or something, some acronym, but basically a direct democracy system of government, Kurdish predominance, but not actually an ethno state, like not Kurdish supremacist, egalitarian with anarchist communes in some areas, and I mean very decentralized. Not necessarily a practical form of government, but the U.S. was backing them, and they were fighting ISIS. But now the U.S. has completely betrayed them, and as this is like the fourth time the United States has betrayed the Kurds. But people keep saying, "Oh, the U.S., the hope for humanity." Maybe people finally get over that with Trump and his nonsense, but I kind of doubt it. We'll still keep believing this. They never learn. Why are they doing that? Is it because of the steel? Is there a steel? Yes, there's a steel shortage, and the AI is actually not buying more steel. They're just trying to up their production, which is probably actually smart here. Let's see, 18% of 20. Yes, that's like 3.6, right? Factories, another 20% factor would be or yeah, if they ran improved worker conditions, it would actually cost them a factor for a while. They have a lot of democratic support. Probably anti-democratic raids would help them. And not make that big of a difference. They would lose about half the display bonus, but they would probably still have the same number of factories. Yep. AI would just sit on tons of excess political power and do nothing with it. So let's get them using some of it productively. Fast bombers or bomb trucks? Really? Air defense? I guess air defense helps if facing actually state anti-air does care about air defense, surprisingly, if I remember correctly. Though it rounds up, so if you have really high air defense, it makes no difference. If something would have destroyed 0.1 bombers, it destroys 1. Fast bombers is still usually the better choice, unless doing strategic bombing. I'm not surprised that I would make the wrong choices. Hmm. What else? Might as well do war radio propaganda. Get that last bit of war support for that last bit of command power. Put the power to good use. Get a little bit of this. And demographic rates be fine. Should probably swap to this guy. Get some actual passive Navy XP. Got the power to do it. The AI always loves these anti-submarine guys, which do a bug. They have the military command trait version instead of giving naval XP. I think that was actually fixed later. This is the last version before No Compromise, No Surrender, which actually just got on sale, but I won't be updating for a very long time because this series you don't have any admirals. None. Well, could do Grand Fleet, but gunnery expert's not super useful, and they'd just be having a few destroyers. This actually is beneficial for naval mine laying. I don't know who they could do prolonged convoy escort skirmishing with, but maybe starting a silly little war with like Nenetsi or something. Minor versus minor doesn't necessarily lead to joining factions. It would be if I kept the game going very long term. More than that, there's a chance of rolling a level 2 admiral. Cool. Eh. Wait, what? The heck? Oh, they're running academy scholarships. Like, why are they coming at level 2 with no traits? Well, a couple more field marshals wouldn't be remiss. They need somebody who can defend. They also probably should promote that guy. Aggressive assaulter. Helps as a field marshal, also helps when attacking. Yeah, I will not make the right choices. So I'm just locking in some stuff if I ever swap them here. submit with defensive doctrine for entrenched positions. Also allows eventually doing elastic defense. But that's only left side there. If they do right, I don't think they get it. It's even a tactic, so maybe if someday they swap to a different tree. Mobile warfare. You can get elastic defense and still get the guerrilla desperate defense bonuses. Arguably substantially better than right-sided mass assault to go left-sided. Well, at the bottom, mobile warfare. Oh well. This does give some entrenchment at least. Boom, boom, boom. Alright, well, they've got a decent little supply of generals now, some level 2. It's just something useful. Still be playing as Syria for now, but fallback nations aren't many. But my idea here is to play as 22 minutes already. It's another communist nation. So if Syria loses, there's Catalonia. Romania will probably actually betray this faction and then get squashed. But there's England, which may or may not get destroyed by the Central Powers before I do. There's Catalonia. There's the Czech rump state. There's actually Mongolia and Xinjiang, though Mongolia will eventually get squished by a one China policy, as with Xinjiang. There's Tanatuva. Tanatuva world conquest, anyone? Yeah, there's precious little, and there's Denmark. Denmark is by far the most viable survivor state, if not England. Problem is, England is at war with Central Powers. Belgium is soon going to join them, which is going to cause France and Switzerland to just completely collapse. And eventually they may build enough navy to cross the English Channel. It depends how quickly the Central Powers end up deciding to attack the United States. Also, the Soviets. We're going to have Soviet Lithuania is going to probably request them invade Poland. Central Powers might end up attacking that. If they eat up much of Russia, they'll put them in a better place to eat up England. All right, well, oh yeah, while I'm here, I guess it wouldn't hurt for them to docking rights are harder to be rejected. So I'm asked for docking rights here and there. Basing all over the area. As far as Catalonia. Oop. Spain. Nope. Soviet Portugal. And ask for military access with the Czechs. So the thing with that is it'll lead to better relations, and docking rates will actually be potentially important. They're not always canceled as easily as military access. But they is less likely, so even if these states are forced to other ideologies, they might make Korea a little more viable later. The docking rates allowing, of course, projecting naval power much further, so maybe eating up some other minor opportunities, right? I don't know, like Galicia or Malta. I think Malta is independent here. Who owns Malta? Oh, probably Kingdom of the Two Sicilies. But Galicia or Tunisia or something. Alright. So enough of that. Saves a little bigger initially when you do a lot of things on paused. Need to switch them to ideological loyalty, but it'll be interesting to check back later and see if they deleted that artillery thing or not. I don't know if I may have enough army XP to ideological loyalty, but maybe. I should be able to get direct ground support. That increases the maximum ground support buff you can get your ground units, and I think because it's a scaled thing, makes each plane provide a larger bonus. It's the same number of planes to reach max, whether you have higher max or not, if I'm not mistaken. So, of course, I don't have any friendly casts around. Spain provides a little air superior, but you don't get bonuses unless you have more than the enemy. I don't know, maybe Spain will show up with some casts at some point, or maybe Norway will finally buy the ones it's deficient on. Alright. The defender's sort of appropriate here. Justifying Palestine here for what it's worth to create the communist puppet of Israel. Jordan is doing red Jordan things. Not great base stability. They've improved worker conditions once, I guess. I did check by swapping to them and fast forwarding, and yeah, their consumer goods factories still remain the same after this. It's like rounding or something. It's just too close for it to round down. It still rounds up, but yeah, it is consumer goods factories, and I guess they now always keep at least one. You can't deprive a nation of its last factory for construction with war operations. So I actually only get 3 from them, maybe 4 factories if they reduce their consumer goods faction. Maybe not, but they might be able to go total mobilization of it eventually. They have the war support, actually. So it's not great, but a lot more manpower, and if I would have to occupy them for a very long time to get nearly as much value. And yeah, I gotta move fast with stuff. I'll also be able to get a research slot while they're in a faction, and then I don't know, they might just be liberated. Well, no, because they'll be actually a belligerent in the war against the US. They'll probably be a supervised state, and they'll be forced to their faction anyways, but you never know. Maybe they'll just force ideology. Probably not. Still have 67 pieces of rocket artillery. Code rocket artillery. What? It's the same thing, it just decided to rename them. I'll be able to get the advanced rocket artillery eventually. Which actually is more soft attack than advanced artillery. Artillery is both the way the rocket artillery is both the way of the future and gives relatively more breakthrough, and it was easier on many limited resources. Less steel, more tungsten, so. Wonder if I swap this factory when I get the advanced rocket artillery, maybe, which I'm gonna get not too long, maybe I'll swap that to the advanced rocket artillery. One that's making this. I didn't know how things would play out. I just kept this factory I briefly had before losing it to maybe it'll, even at this resource, I'll be able to do some production because they have less of a tungsten shortage than steel. Oh shoot, you know what I should be doing? Buying steel. Oh, but it's gonna, I'm gonna lose convoys to the when the British are, you know, kind of under naval blockade. The American fleet has arrived in mass. Based in, I'm not sure where they're based in around here. I don't see any members of their faction. UK hasn't given the Americans docking rights, have they? Let's check with the... Denmark has given them docking rights? Are you kidding me? And the Republic of Georgia? Why would the Republic of Georgia give them... This gives them access to Black Sea randomly, but that's not super relevant. The big one is that somehow Denmark decided to give the Americans docking rights. That's a problem. It's probably part of how they're doing this, but yeah. I can't really get the steel. I could get steel from Slovakia, which I guess is somewhat a Soviet successor, or Serbia, which is, seeing here, neutral. Eh. This amount of steel will actually probably increase by more. Slovakia might increase their production later. More likely, I would think, than Serbia. Yeah. Guess I'll import a little steel from Slovakia. Yes, I know it's not all meat. Steel is in global shortage. That's part of why I'm doing civs and not more mill. Give me a little more. This should update tomorrow. I might actually start producing this last line of support equipment. Yep. Yeah, sorry. So it's not a factory assigned to this. I'm really thinking, but I can experiment with boosting it up in the... Well, boosting up the order to produce regardless. Still. I don't know. Brain's not working great. My long COVID, I'm kind of tired. I'm trying here. Let's just give it a moment. Quiet. And the music, it's giving me a headache. Or turn down the music ever so slightly. Of course, the effect volume is 2. So I'm crushing this little pocket. Wait, my guy's reached level 3 now? Oh no, he was 3 before, wasn't he? Maybe not. should have 7 stats plus whatever you gain from skills, which should be a minimum of 6. 13, 8, 7, 15. So yeah, he has rolled. Take this bonus once out of his 2 level ups. Strictly average gains. He has... he was level 3 for a while. See, I already assigned the traits. And this guy. Why'd I put this guy here? Feel that fast. Oh, this is not gonna roll us till we get a skill advantage against Sweden anytime soon. They've been fighting so much longer than me. And Bean Lily could eventually be swapped in, maybe as the general instead of the one is a field marshal. They all have the same name, which is ridiculous and stereotyped.